July might have been my best reading month yet. I read or listened to 7 books in the month of July, and every single one was a banger. Okay, I'm running a tiny bit behind, but let's go ahead and wrap up July, and let me tell you my TBR plans for August. Now, in July, I read 7 books. I had 8 books planned, but I only made it through 7 of them. So I listened to 3 on audio, 2 physical, and 2 Kindle. Now you might be thinking, Amy, those numbers don't add up, and that's because one of the books I read part of it and the other part I listened. This puts me at 2,844 pages read in the month of July and 27 hours and 27 minutes listened. It was a banging month. 5 of the books that I read were 5 stars and 2 of them were 4.5 stars. And I read across genres in July with romance, sci-fi, romantasy, and fantasy. So let's start with Not in Love and Problematic Summer Romance by Hazelwood. Problematic Summer Romance has been on my TBR for a while. It's one of my friend's favorites. I've been like, yes, let's read it. But I somehow missed somewhere along the way that I need to read Not in Love first. So I started Problematic Summer Romance, and I got about 7 chapters in when I went to fill out my reading planner and realized I needed to read Not in Love first. So I paused Problematic Summer Romance, which I was reading out of the physical book, and I went and listened to Not in Love. And it was so good. I loved the narration, and I just loved Rue and Eli. I loved their relationship dynamics, and their characters were just so beautifully written. I feel like Not in Love is a little bit more slower paced. The romance is a little bit more mature. Not in Love follows Rue, who is a scientist, and her life is kind of turned upside down when another company acquires the lab or company that she works for, and it's a whole thing resulting in a whole little office affair, and it's fun. I gave it 4.5 stars, and then I went and finished Problematic Summer Romance, which I ate up. Problematic Summer Romance follows Maya as she goes to her brother's destination wedding and has to face her brother's best friend, who she's in love with. For me, this was a perfect summer read, and it's an age gap done right. I don't always love age gap romances. They sometimes can be a little, you know what I mean, depending on how they're written, but I felt like this one was just, it was so good. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was fun. There was a lot of tension, and I loved Problematic Summer Romance. I gave it 5 stars. Then we have Rules for the Summer by Megan Quinn, and I love Megan Quinn. Okay, her writing's not for everybody. It definitely leans rom-com, cringy, Hallmark movie type deal, but I love Megan Quinn's books. I loved Rules for the Summer. It was funny, and it was ridiculous, and it was romantic. The main male character is a complete, he's ridiculous, okay, for a good majority of the book, but I loved it. I ate it up. I did listen to this one on audio as well, and I loved the narrators. I thought they did such a great job embodying Megan's style in the narration. I also gave that one 5 stars. And then we read The Poison Daughter in Read and Yap with Akakak. That was our June/July book club pick, and I had no idea what to expect going into The Poison Daughter. I had been seeing it all over my FYP lately. I have seen people reading The Poison Daughter. I'd never heard of it. I'd never read it. I've never read the blurb. Hooked me from page 1, probably even line 1. It was so good. I'm pretty sure it's a one and done book, right? I don't think it's a duology or anything, but I've never needed a second book more in my life just because I loved it so much. I want more. I need more. It's a must read. It was spicy, dark, engaging, and it was 5 stars, of course. And then in the archives on Fable, which is my personal book club, we read Project Hail Mary, and again, I had no idea what to expect. I've been seeing this everywhere. I knew it came out as a movie, and it was not what I was expecting or what I had in my head when I picked it up, but I still loved it. I fell in love with it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I immediately watched the movie the same night that I finished the book. I told my husband, we're gonna have to watch this, and we did. We watched it. He got super invested, and it was a good time. Of course, I think the book was way better than the movie, but I always think that. Project Hail Mary has us ask so many questions about life, ethics, morality, humanity, and it was so good. All wrapped up in this story of curiosity, bravery, and unexpected friendship. I also read Who Hears the Waters Call by Sophia St. Germain. I am on her street team, and it was so good. It came out on July 22nd. It is a dark Viking romantasy with Norse mythology, a war academy, sentient ships, forbidden love, easy 5 stars. And then, as you know, I am working my way through my Maas first reread. And so in July, I reread A Court of Wings and Ruin, Akawar by SJM. I'm so glad I'm doing this. I forgot how much I loved Akawar specifically. It is such a good book. It's a vibe, and we get so much information in Akawar. I'm I'm floored. I'm trying not to really do like spoilers here, so I won't talk more about it, but I loved it, and I gave it 5 stars on my reread. I also started my reread of Throne of Glass because of the order that I'm reading the Maasverse in. After Wings and Ruin, I'm reading Throne of Glass, and I did not get it finished. If you know me, I hate that. I hate carrying a book over from one month to the next. So I did not include Throne of Glass in my July stats because I didn't finish it. So with that, we are going to move into my August TBR, which is of course Throne of Glass. I'm eating up the reread. It's so good. With that being said, I also intend to get through Crown of Midnight in August as well as part of my reread of the Maasverse, as well as Smoke and Scar by Gretchen Powell Fox. I have the ARC for the trad edition of Splintered Kingdom by Gretchen Powell Fox, which actually came out August 11th. I also have an ARC for Ember and Ash. I'm super excited about this. This comes out at the end of the month, August 27th. This is the Thorn Saga Book 1, and it says, I haven't started it yet, so I don't know, but it says it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets ACOTAR, and like immediately yes. Now, August book clubs. In my personal Fable book club, we are reading Katabasis-R.F Kuang. I am super excited. Oh, I've already started diving into it, and so far, I'm excited about this one. And then in Read and Yab with Akikak, our August and September book is going to be Slewfoot-Brom. I've not started that yet, but I am super excited for Slewfoot. I'm holding off on that one just in case I start running out of time this month. Then I'll push it into September since we're spreading the book club out over 2 months. But I'm very excited. And that's what I have planned for August. I feel like my summer reading was really up and down with my kids being off on break. They now just started back at school, so we'll see if we'll get back on track. But I am super excited about everything I've got going on. I need to speed up my Maasverse a little bit. I'm going a little slower than I would like. I also would like to give the Empyrean series, the Fourth Wing books, another reread before Threshing Day comes out, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to swing it with everything else I have going on. My top 3 reads for July are The Poisoned Daughter by Sheila Masterson, Who Hears the Waters Call by Sophia St. Germain, and Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Though I will say it was difficult to narrow that down. It was such a good month. I'm excited to see where August takes me and what I actually accomplished this month. Stay tuned for my thoughts, theories, and reviews as I work my way through my Maasverse reread and my TBR. I want to know, what is your most anticipated fall new release? Because there's a bunch of new releases coming out this fall, and I need to know what I need to stack onto my TBR. If you're a mood reader like me who reads across genres and you want more like this, book recommendations, book reviews, theories, all things bookish, go ahead and give me a follow.